Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach. I'm tired. I'm feeling kind of tired for some reason. It must have been the Deadpool Wolverine movie, which was fantastic. By the way, I had so much fun watching it. It was a great summer movie. Very violent, a lot of gore, a lot of violence, a lot of swearing, a lot of inappropriateness, but I enjoyed every bit of it. It was just done so well. By this point, probably a lot of the spoilers and cameos are already out. I probably missed half of them anyway, but there were definitely some there that I had no idea were going to happen. So it was overall very cool. I really enjoyed it, but I think I probably laughed so hard and all that other stuff that I'm kind of tired. But I want to at least talk about the progress I made off camera and then start doing some more work. So I did get this figured out, and I remembered that I had this in there before when I was doing preview versions where you can actually go off and get these ref assemblies, and then you got to give the right name, and you can do this, and that way the package I have right now, the preview versions for .NET 9, which you can see right here, are for preview 3. That's why it wasn't working. So this gets for preview 6. Everything worked then, and all is well. And so what I did is I also add all the generated sources within this method. So the only thing I had to do now is just remove the type of rock generator, all these calls. And so that makes it a little bit smaller too for what I'm passing in. But then I didn't have to go to every call site and have it call a helper method. That's done in here. That was the right choice. That was the better way of doing it. So I've got all tests to pass. And I did confirm that this worked in an odd sort of way because this Playground app used to have a ref struct argument type in it. And I had to actually physically remove it because this library, our rocks library, is now generating that. So I had to get rid of that. So the next step is to actually see what it would take. Now this is only for creates. Makes don't matter. They don't care about this. But let's go to my list. And we've done this now, right? Done. Update project creation to ignore ref struct types. Not project, projection creation. That's important to make the distinction there. If we go into builders, create, and where do we start again? Rock create builder. That does the mock builder. The mock builder. We'll do things like projected types, and then we still may do that because we need that for pointers. Well, we don't need that for ref structs anymore. We still may need all this, but let's go look at the delegate builder. Delegate builder will say requires projected delegate. Why would we need a projected delegate? We would need a projected delegate. Yeah, we only do this now. We're trying to find the one spot to say this is the fun surgery that we need to do. So if it's greater than 16, yes, we have to do that. Or if any of them are ref, that doesn't mean ref struct, it just means it's a ref or it's an out. Or the type is esoteric, which probably means, is it a ref-like type? So guess what? That goes away. We don't care anymore. We can just say, is it a pointer? And we can probably put a to-do here to say this can probably go away. Let's put that in our list, type symbol extensions. Address to-dos. I type symbol extensions. We'll keep that in there for now, but this should no longer care about that. So moving all the way back up the chain, in the method model, we look at this, and we will no longer do this for ref structs. So all this code can stay, except we don't care about it. We will never get into this anymore, which is good. So that goes away, right? Projected argtype builder. You can get esoteric types. If it's a ref-like type, or if it's a function pointer or a pointer, that goes away. We don't care about those anymore. We don't care about those anymore either. I don't think we care about this. That never comes into play anyway. Although, where would that come into play? They're all in here. Yeah, that blah. But it's only here that we care about it. And I'm kind of wondering why. Well, let's do a to-do here. This can probably be removed. And then we'll say this one. Okay. Because again, I don't think it matters if it's there or not. And then projected adornments builder. If it returns void or a pointer, function pointer or pointer. I believe this is only now for pointers. This never did anything otherwise. So we don't need this anymore for, well, we just keep it. We just let it do what it's going to do. Okay, and then we just say if we need to actually do it, then we create that class. Now, of course, this is going to break some of my tests. That's fine, but that's the first step. So I think run tests and fix any changes. That works. This is done. Okay, so now we did that. Now handler list builder, build. We build method handler types and we build property handler types. So let's go to the build method handler types. This actually should be mock handler because that's our standard. So we go here and we say build a handler for all the methods, as you do. Now this is actually not tricky at all because the callback delegate name here will now just work. If it was like a ref struct called data, like what you saw before, we just plop it in there. If we know it returns void, so that just falls through. We no longer go into this spot here. I think we actually, well, let's just keep going. So this builds the handler. If the return type, yeah, we got to always look for is ref-like type. So if the return type is a ref-like type, then we want to do this. So this is a little different in that if we do have a ref-like type, we still have to build a delegate, but we don't have to build like the delegate itself. We can just reference what it should be. Method return type, build name. What we could say here is it could be return type of a global system.func, and then we'll do that where what gets put in there, because that's what I did in my playground, is we did something. Yeah, now you don't know what that is, which is interesting because it is there. It does work. So we would just say global system func of data, right? And that's it. So we'll do that. And then we put there. And that's it. That's the return type name. And here is exoteric is only because it's a pointer. Argument type name simplifies to this because it's really a pointer. And now this has to change though, right? We need it to be, for each parameter, we need to say argument type name, but we can kind of do this here. If the method parameters, so we could say parameter type, parameter type is ref-like type. If it is, then we'll do something like this. I'll change this in a moment, else we do that. Here we want to say ref struct argument, and that's it. That's all we have to do. And it can be nullable. It is possible, I bet. So we might as well just leave that there for now. But that's all we do. And then add the handlers type. There we go. That should be enough. And then if we go to property handler types, get, we do build handler. We've already done that all. So this is done. Expectations verify builder. What is a mock expectations verify builder? What does that do? If I forget. Oh, this is the override for this, which I'm sorry, which is okay. We actually do the type. Now we do the method expectations builder, or the property expectations builder. Okay. So let's go into build here. If we have methods, switch this subtype expectations, fine. Method expectations method builder, build. I think that's where the magic happens. And this is for explicit, but they both call this. And so here we say build implementation, which skips up to this. So we give it the method. We look at the parameters. So for each parameter now, we're looking to say if it's esoteric, which is only going to be when it's a pointer. So again, this flattens or reduces now to this. Else, we say here is ref y. This is O. Type is ref like type. If it is, then we do something like this. Else, we do something like that. This will be ref struct argument. Okay, so the type is esoteric. That's a pointer. Right? That's where I might go back and remove all that. This says generated with defaults. We do this. If not generated with defaults, we do that. Currently not generating with defaults. This, though, has to be the same thing, right? A little bit of duplication, but that's okay. We say return. No, I can't spell. So global rocks array type name or that. We get all of our type arguments. We get the instance parameters that generic. This is all the instance parameters. It's got to go somewhere down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and those are for that. And those are the expectations. And I believe that is done. Except now we go into property builder expectations. And I believe when we say build here, we build properties, indexers, explicit properties, and explicit indexers. And I believe this is going to be the same thing where they both either go into an indexer builder or an index expectation builder. Yep. Okay, so let's do the property one first. And we will go into here. Do build getter and build setter. We won't require a projected delegate. We'll just do a delegate builder. If it is a ref-like type, then here again, it is just global system.func of that, except we'll do that. So we say property type fully qualified name. Nope. Gotta do that. And I believe that's it, because the getter would only have that. The setter has property parameter type. If it's esoteric, it would only be doing a pointer. Like, actually, wait, hold on. I think a to-do here can be removed, question mark, can be removed. Okay. Because we may be able to remove all these. But for now, we're just going to say pointer. Okay. Else, if this property parameter type is ref-like, then we do, yes, you know, something like this. Except this is going to be a ref struct. The callback would end up just being a delegate builder. There's a property parameter value. This isn't an indexer. This is just that. Perfect. Now, let's do the indexer. Oh, what a mess. Who wrote this code anyway? I have no idea. Okay, builder, build. Let's go into the getter first. I'm doing this very systematically as much as I can because I know I'm going to screw it up, but I just want to make sure I do this right. Build getter implementation. Okay. Those are the instance parameters. We'll get that later. So the return type, if it's this, again, all we do is global system.func, and I am sure I'm misspelling this somewhere, but oh well. And there we go. And I can hear my wife watering the lawn because of the noise just outside here. Again, if it's esoteric, it's just going to be a pointer type. Okay, and so we do that. Here we say if it's params, we do that. Otherwise, here we say type is ref-like type. If it is, this is getting repetitive, isn't it? But necessary. So now we say ref struct argument, and we will do the same thing down here, which is we say if generated the parameter values, rock arc is, we'll deal with that as we get there. And I think that deals with that because this is the getter. So all we care about are the parameters. And then the setter is this. If the value parameter is esoteric, which would only mean a pointer, we do that. Else, if the last parameter type is ref-like, then we're going to do something like this. Else, we're going to do something like that, and this is just a ref struct. Callback delegate, we won't have to worry about, does the right thing. And then the instance parameters, I think, are just jumping things around, if I remember right. So here, again, if it's esoteric, which means it's a pointer, we just do that. And then down here, we say if it's params, else if type is ref-like, we're going to do that, except that, and that, except that. There we go. And this would be ref struct argument. There. I think I've not been spacing them out correctly, but that's okay. I can deal with that. Well, I can't. I'm going to change that if I get back to it, but you know what I mean. So, and then this one is the same thing as this. So we take all that off and we do that. And that should be all of them. So now we run tests. Here's the big change. How much did we screw up? We're going to find out. So we have tests in here. I believe we have generators for ref structs. We do. So I have a ref struct that takes this. Okay. Now, we know this is going to mess all this up. That's fine. Let's see if we broke anything first. Can we compile? We should get 2 breaks. One of them saying that you want the ref struct one to be first? Okay. That was passing before. So I don't know why you really care about the order, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, that looks better. And this is for the create. So let's just copy all this. Not really going to try to, we'll analyze it once I get the formatting cleaned up. Okay, let's look at this. So we have that. We have a handler 0. We see that it's a ref struct of a ref struct data. Okay. So we do the handlers. Verify should be the same. This should be the same. It doesn't return anything. So all we're going to do is this should be an action of a global. That's correct, I believe. Method expectations. We should see a ref struct argument here of a ref struct. That's good. And then we just plop them in there. And then the adornments, this should be an action. It doesn't return anything. So that falls through too. Let's get the make generated code. And the make doesn't change. Actually, that's a good point I got to keep in my head. When I'm changing all this code, it's only the create that should be affected, if I remember right. The make does not care about any of this. So I don't have to remove all this code. That's one that passes. Okay. We got a fair more to go. But what's good about this is that this shows, I'm a little worried about the fact that it wanted the ref struct thing before the other one, because it didn't matter before. Now it's mattering. And I'm like, this better not have some kind of weird ordering going on. Because if I remember right, when I looked up at my thing here and I said generator and I say initialize, register types was always first. So it should do that first. And then it should, do what else it needs to do. So I know that's one I'm going to have to watch for. But I'm going to stop here because this is a great place to stop. We have a success. I say commit. We can say 170. We have success with one unit test passing. That's a good place to stop on a Sunday night. And I don't want to do any more work just yet because there is lots more here, like with generate. There's indexer, return, open generic, property, all sorts of things that I'm going to have to go through and fix. So I think what I'm going to do next is, play with these, see what happens when we get spans and return values and all that other stuff, and go through them one by one. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Before the next video, I'm going to go through all the tests that don't pass right now and fix them. And if there's something that comes up that requires more delving into in a video, I will stop at that point and then do that. But I will try to fix as much as I can with the unit tests. And that's where I'll pick up in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.